5, 4.
Welcome to Tanked Up, the podcast all about video games and craft beer. I'm Ben, and I'm joined this week by Aadil.
Hey!
And Lucy.
Hey!
We're all back for another week of drinking and video games. Just like to say, Aadil, obviously for our video viewers, your silent countdown in for the last 3. Obviously, it's what you do, but video viewers will be like, why is he holding his fingers up? What is going on?
Well, I assume you would at least have the 5-4 for the video.
No.
No, you're just gonna have me
just,
going...
just straight you miming some fingers at people. They won't understand. Anyway, let's drink some beers. Lucy.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely start with Lucy.
I need it.
What are you drinking first?
I am drinking a Magic Rock beer.
Ooh, controversial.
Yeah. It's called Rode Goos.
Oh.
Rode,
Okay.
spelled R-O-D-E.
Oh.
Goose, spelled G-O-O-S. It's a pomegranate and cherry fruited goes. Don't understand the name, but there you go. Malts, Golden Promise, wheat malt, Munich malt, and acidulated malt. Hops, T90, EKG, and Enigma. Other ingredients: pomegranate, sweet cherry, sour cherry, and coriander. Yeast is WLP029, German ale yeast. It's 6%.
Okay.
Yeah, 330ml can.
Nice.
I did see that advertised like a week and a half ago, maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
Before the Magic Rock news came out. That they're being stocked in Tesco. Obviously, the only news that Magic Rock have had in the last sort of few weeks. Honestly.
Yeah.
Aadil, what are you
Selling
drinking?
to Lion.
I am having the Amundsen Brewery's Chuggernaut.
Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun.
I like that beer.
I'm the Chuggernaut, bitch.
Yes, you are, BJ. Yes, you are.
The flavor text is about the Devil's Peak, though.
Okay.
On a recent exploration trip to the southernmost tip of Africa, we met up with the like-minded guys at Devil's Peak Brewing and immediately decided to make a beer together. Chuggernaut is a reincarnation of both our flagship beers molded into a single beer. So chuggable, it'll blow your mind with a total hop overload, tropical, juicy, and hazy. Chuggernaut pairs best with sun, shades, and lazy days.
Lovely.
Brewed in collaboration with Devil's Peak Brewing, which I'm actually surprised with a collab that it's like all the branding is the Amundsen, and then it's just there that they mentioned Devil's Peak.
Really?
Collab.
Yeah. Their
I mean,
logo's not
also
on there, and
No, that's why I didn't realize it was. Because I didn't actually read all of the words because that takes effort.
I mean, yeah. When do you actually do that in the bottle shop? Good. Get that poured. I think I'm going to start with
Tiny.
the non-double dry hopped IPA. 3 beers I have this week, so I'm going to start, I think, with Unbarred Brewery's Mixed Berry Gelato Pale.
Jesus, that's a lot of words.
It is a lot of words. This is one of Unbarred's beers that you can find in Tesco. So all my beers this week are Tesco
specials?
beers.
Locally sourced.
Yes, local, from my local Tesco. Yeah, I've tried a few beers that have come out in the new range from Tesco. Haven't been impressed. I think maybe these 3 are going to be the best ones. There wasn't any Magic Rock there. There wasn't a lot, actually, in my Tesco's. There's maybe only about half the range that has been sort of advertised. But we'll see. I do have a little bit of flavour text. A creamy, dreamy pale ale with strawberries, blackberries, blueberries and raspberries. The malts are pale ale, flaked oats, flaked wheat and carapils. The yeast is New England. The hops are just Columbus. It has got lactose, yeast, barley, oats, water, hops, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries and blueberries. No Rules Brewing from the heart of Sussex. Unbarred Brewery started in a tiny kitchen and now brews big beers with massive flavours to be enjoyed with friends, food and good company. So that's just their thing. Is there anything on here now about where it's brewed? Brewed at Hop Stuff Brewery. Ooh, so this one was brewed at Hop Stuff. So one of the beers I had was a collaboration between Hop Stuff and Unbarred. I just didn't do it for me. Just too little, too weak.
Yeah.
Wasn't big enough. Just couldn't get on with it, really. So I'm going to pour this. I don't think I told you what it was. Percentage-wise, it is... I have no idea. 6%. There we go. Lucy.
Oh yeah, I forgot to say my percent.
Oh, percentage, Aadil.
4.7.
Okay.
Cool.
I guess I could have waited until I was speaking about my beer.
It's
I just panicked. It was like, oh, I forgot a thing.
Man, because I was thinking, oh yeah, he's got a 6, I've got a 6. What does the deal have? And I was like, oh, it's because he didn't read it out.
Yeah.
I thought you're just not listening again, Lucy, but no.
No,
You're fine, Lucy. You're fine. What's your beer like? What's the Magic Rock like?
It's very red, very very red.
Ooh.
Probably it's coming up on camera a bit. Yeah, it's deep red, just like a cherry. Taste and flavor wise, you're very much getting a lot of cherry in it, and even though it's only 6%, it feels quite boozy.
Okay.
Feels like slightly warming. I don't know. I can't really taste the coriander, to be honest, but I don't know if that's contributing to that. But yeah, it's got a little bit of spiciness to it, almost. Bit of warming as you drink it. So you can definitely taste the alcohol. I don't know if like the fruits are contributing to that. It's not overly sweet, which is good, but it's not overly sour either. So it feels like it's a bit pared back in its like tartness. I was expecting, it's going to be like sour cherry. It's going to be like, blow your socks off with sourness, but it's quite restrained. And I don't know. It's if you want like, a sour, it's like a warm day or something. You just want something to take the edge off, and you got like a nice, even harsh sour. This isn't it. This feels very like almost introductory to like sours.
That's interesting.
Hmm.
I suppose we are only in spring to start with, so you may think of something a little bit lighter.
Yeah, I mean, I really like it. Don't get me wrong, but maybe it's all that fruit packed in that's just taken all that sourness away, possibly.
Right.
But yeah, it tastes more like a juice than like a tart sour.
Okay.
Let's say, not complaining. It's quite nice because you're getting a lot of that cherry and well, it's got pomegranate in it as well. Sweet cherry and sour cherry. So maybe it's the sweet cherry that's coming out more than the sour cherry. But yeah, it's going down quickly. So I like it.
Excellent.
Aadil, how's yours?
It is yellow.
Yep.
It is.
Quite hazy. It's
like
got
Big Bird.
yeah. I saw on YouTube earlier in the past week the first appearance of Big Bird on Sesame Street, and he was kind of an imbecile. Like he was really he was
Big Bird's a dick. He's awful. He's so condescending.
Right,
I don't like Big Bird.
The first appearance of him, he was dumb.
Mm.
He was really slow.
So he wasn't condescending children. He was actually
he was
the
like,
inverse.
Yeah. So at some point they flipped it. I thought that was very strange.
Yeah, he's condescending. What do you mean you don't know how to count? What do you mean you don't know how to spell?
It's 5, you dummy!
Yeah.
What is wrong with you? Yes, there is an invisible fucking mammoth beside me. Shut up!
Yeah.
Oh, you can't see the mammoth? What are you, an idiot? It's right there.
Snuffleupagus, that's his name. What? It's not even a word.
Really watch Sesame Street. He's condescending.
Yeah.
Anyone who doesn't believe me.
How's the Big Bird beer?
Big Bird beer is not condescending. It's a lovely Northeast IPA. It's got a little tang at the end, which I appreciate. It's quite both the taste and the carbonation makes it feel very effervescent, like it's sort of bubbles in your mouth, and it also the taste opens up sort of in line with that. It's got a lot going on, a lot of interesting hops, flavors. It doesn't leave you very bitter, but I'm sort of grasping at like there's no central theme right now. There's just a bunch of interesting tastes, and I'm just sort of enjoying them. There's a bit of almost like a toffee biscuity malt undertone, which I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not too citrusy. It's not super tropically fruit. It's the nose has a bit of pine to it, and that's carried through a little in the taste. But again, that's just one of the small notes I'm picking up on. So I'm not sure why. I just can't quite pin down what the main flavor is, but it's really quite an interesting beer. I quite like it a lot.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
I really like their beers. I went to I think I've been to like 2 tap takeovers from them this year. One was like last Saturday.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had like these are some of the nicest stouts around. They had like a pecan pie like stout, which was amazing, and Thunder Juice I had as well on Saturday. That's really nice.
Is a good
yeah. But yeah, like I've never had a bad beer from them. They're all good.
Yeah, this is a really excellent beer, and it doesn't dry you out, but again, it has a little bit of tartness at the end that sort of invites maybe an offset why another sip right away.
Yeah. And I rated that Chuggernaut a 4 on Untapped out of 5, so clearly liked it.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so I'm not surprised that you said you like the stouts there, because again, on a New England IPA, it's having that very distinct sort of multi-note undertone suggests that they know what they're doing malt-wise, and obviously that's going to come out more in the stouts.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely recommend them if you can get your hands on them.
I've seen them in the bottle shop in Bottles and Books a few times. They're not always in. So I think they are maybe a little bit more expensive than some other breweries, but they're being imported from Norway. Okay.
Yeah.
Which I mean has never put me off before, and I've had a couple of beers from them. They also do different sized cans as well. I've seen lots of I've seen a few collabs as well from their beers in there too. So.
Only started doing 440s recently because they all used to be in 330s. So, yeah, they've obviously sized up a bit. Yeah.
Seems to be the way everyone's going. So my Unbarred, that's in a 440ml can too. It's an odd beer. I'm getting a lot of the berries on the nose, so really I'm I think pushing through the most is kind of like the strawberries and the raspberries, really, but it is just a mix of of berries, just a waft of fruit that you're kind of getting off of the nose. Feels very, very light though. It's not like a big in your face kind of flavour. It's just it is a lighter, more delicate kind of nose to it, and then you're getting all of those in the flavour, but there is this, so I don't know whether it's like an acridity to it, but there's this slight kind of sour note creeping in towards the end that is trying to maybe be a little bit bitter, but doesn't quite reach that height. There's just something trying to push through. And what did they say? It was a gelato pale. There was lactose in there as well, and it has got that like slightly creamier mouthfeel to it as well. It's a little bit viscous. It's thin, but it's a little bit viscous. For those of you who can't look, it's very it's not quite red, it's not quite orange, it's not quite pink. It's somewhere in the middle of those, and it's a little translucent, not too much. I can see my fingers through it on the. You can probably see my thumb just through it. So
it looks like. Yeah, it's a weird colour, isn't it?
I mean, it is very weird.
Blood orange.
It looks, a little bit, but it looks, it reminds me of something like a kettle sour in terms of its colour. A little bit, it's quite fizzy as well. It's got a little bit of carbonation kick to it, which obviously you instantly get as you drink it, and that carbonation kind of stays around and pops in the mouth a little bit, which maybe is pulling out some more of those. Berry flavours slightly, but I don't know whether it's just the mix of all of those berries together is just giving me a slightly acidic kind of flavour towards the end, which isn't it's not pleasant. Like, I like the start. I really like the berries that hit you, that little bit of carbonation, but it kind of peters out a little bit into something that I'm not that keen on. I think maybe some people would be. It's just towing the line between not quite sure whether it's got a little bit of sourness to it, not quite sure whether it wants to have a bit more bitterness to it. I think it's just trying to do too much, but maybe it's just not trying to do. It might not be trying to do too many things. It just might not be quite achieving what it wanted to do.
Which is what exactly? What is it called again? Gelato.
Mixed berry gelato pale.
Yeah.
I guess it's just trying to do berries with a certain texture.
Yeah, and I can see that. It's got a little bit of a
strawberry milkshake IPA or something like that.
Almost. It's a lot thinner than I would expect, like a milkshake IPA. It's a pale. Gelato tends to be thinner than ice cream as well, so I can see why it's not like a milkshake or an ice cream pale. It's gelato sort of pale. Right. It's got that thinness to it. I'd hazard. It doesn't say that it's in there, but you know when you have a beer that's got like hop oil or orange oil, another kind of oil that's in there, it just gives it that slight slickness to it. This is edging on that as well. Almost, if I hadn't read the things, I could imagine that there was some kind of oil in this as well to give it that very, very smooth, very slick mouthfeel, along with that slight, very, very slight thickness to it. So, hopefully it will grow on me a little bit more, and that ending flavour will kind of turn into what it's trying to be, perhaps.
I figured out what the taste was struggling to pin down was. It's like the generic fruitiness that you get on like a tin of fruit salad.
Okay. Nice. Like artificial sweetness.
Well, not quite artificial, but just like that blend of flavors. So
I think an amalgamation of different.
Yeah, so I think, but the base of that is exactly what when I keyed into that, I realized, the base of those are melon usually.
Yes,
and that's the undertone that's going on. It's just a very generic melon, and then the bursts of the little bits of other fruits. So in that sense, I don't want it to seem like it's as dull as that fruit salad tin thing, but that's sort of the family of flavors. But obviously they're coming out a lot stronger and less muddied and processed is the thing I'm referring to. But it's definitely this melony, fruit, this sort of generic melony fruitness that's the main taste.
Cool, nice. So they're our first beers for this evening. Let's move on to a topic this week. And I wanted to kind of just return to a topic we covered a few weeks ago, which was The Division 2. We said we were going to kind of talk about it a little bit more, and we tried to, in that first episode that we discussed it, be a little bit more positive, perhaps. And I've been playing it quite a lot, so I'm, more of a way sort of through it, I think, than you are, Aadil. I don't think you've picked it up a huge amount, have you, since we sort of we played it kind of in that first week?
I think what happened was I realized I was going to Canada for 20 days, and so I would be behind anyways, and so the draw to keep up with the Joneses, where you and Adam and Meta are the Joneses, wasn't there because I'm just going to be outpaced, and so I just sort of. And then also I've been more social than I was before, and so I've had more nights out, so that means less nights in playing games.
Hey, you can be social in games and out of games.
Yeah. True. I just my balance of life meant that there were less nights that I was playing games.
You're being a beautiful social butterfly. Traveling around all over the place. Yeah. So I'm finding that. I know one of the criticisms was maybe that the story wasn't very strong. When we talked about it last time, you mentioned, Aadil, that a lot of the things that you'd seen is people are focusing a little bit more on the kind of like the gameplay, the loot kind of thing, and just narrative and story is basically just being left to the side, and it kind of doesn't really seem to be going anywhere. But it does seem to be trying to tell you something and trying to say something, but the idea that that people have come out from Ubisoft and said, it's not a political game, just strips that story of its power completely.
I mean, it's obviously.
So I'm going through it thinking, well, it's not a political game. You know, why do I give a shit?
Undermining their
anymore? Why do I care?
writers, side of everything.
Completely.
Yeah.
And I've definitely got to that point. I'm like, well, why do I care really? You know, whereas if they'd have embraced it a little bit more, you're talking about a story where you have gangs roaming the streets of, you know, the capital of America, trying to fight for power, to be like top dog. It is that post-apocalyptic kind of setting of someone trying to take over, that power grab.
Yeah.
There's space there for it, and then the government, or the vestiges of the previous government, sending in agents to try and quell, essentially like a civil war, really.
Yeah.
And an uprising of people trying to take the power. I mean, that's a huge story. That's massive. It's hugely political.
Well,
but
and
it's just.
Go on.
I just say, but it's just so, like, as I'm going through it now, just don't care.
It's pretty anemic in its presentation. I mean, I mocked the opening intro video because it's pretty cheeseball. But fuck, at least that had some balls and was saying, look at what happened.
Did you have a gun? Did your neighbors have a gun?
A gun, yeah. Did your neighbors have a gun?
We like
Someone
guns.
had a gun.
Yeah, and they survived.
Then the gangs fought over the veterinarians because they all wanted pets, but who would have the healthiest pets? But it's just, it's one thing.
It's typical French, isn't it? Like, just not going one way or the other. It's
Like, the French love a good revolution.
I mean, it's
when it involves themselves, then they'll strike all day. It's commenting on anything else outside of France.
But it's the same thing they did with...
laissez-faire, like, we know. Who knows?
It's the same thing they did with...
I love the French. Far Cry 5, yeah.
Yeah, it was clearly... It's obvious that the initial idea was to comment on the current goings-on in America in the past few years. And then they're like, no, it's not really a political game, and it's because there's a drug that they're bad. The bad people are bad, or so. I can't remember what that cop-out was, but like they just neutered their game on the last mile, and it's like they're trying to have their cake and eat it too. But like, it's like, well, the gameplay clearly shows that, like, if you wanted that political game, the gameplay, you could read the gameplay that way. But
yeah, completely.
But they want the writing.
Division, right?
Sorry?
Yes.
Well, all of his books were political.
Yes.
So how are you going to have a Tom Clancy game and say it's not political?
Well, because it's not actually Tom Clancy. It's Tom Clancy TM.
Obviously, but when you have, like, Tom Clancy's The Division...
Yeah.
I mean...
They just think that if they don't want to... I think it's they don't want their shareholders to be worried by controversy, and they don't want people like Gamergate assholes.
Oh, obviously, yeah.
But it's just like, well, don't make this game then. Either have the balls to make it right, or don't make it.
I mean, they could have set the, you know, really, they could have set the Division to 10,000 years in the future, and been like, well, humanity kind of survived a little bit, and actually we then all set off into space, and now it's the same game, but in space. You know, or not even bother doing that. Like, don't even bother making the Division in the setting that it was. Like, you could make the game that you've got in a completely different setting and not have to worry about those kind of, like, those real-world implications.
But that's what they wanted to... Like, clearly the creative direction at some point wanted to do this thing.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, completely. But I mean, just fucking let them do it to the full extent that they want to be able to do it without having to worry about fucking some child sitting around going...
Because look, I mean, you have Wolfenstein... And people are complaining about that.
Wolfenstein,
it's like, you know,
brilliant. Machine Games didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
Didn't care.
Did it
fucking shoot Nazis?
Well, of course it's political because Nazis are bad, and that was it.
Yeah. They embraced it.
Can't do that in day and age.
Fully embraced it. Because the new Wolfenstein game, what's that called? Youngblood. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That comes out at some point this year.
July. Soon.
Ooh, and I fully expect that in the lead up to
to
have more marketing pushing that way. So
I've already just seen like just the starts of it. It's like, you know, because you play as DJ's twin daughters, and everyone's
Yes.
like, "Oh, you put women in games." Oh my god!
I mean, I did
Who remembered
appreciate.
that?
I appreciated that on the. Oh no, it wasn't the case. I thought it was the case with the randomizer on the Division beta. Like you just couldn't change your person. You just got what you got.
Yeah.
And I thought that you just got whatever gender you got, but you could actually change it. But I kind of wish more games would just do that.
Yeah, completely.
didn't
You know, create. I think something with the Division is a little bit more. Was it? There was a game. Oberdin. No, is it the Forest? Or maybe not the Forest. There is or like 7 Days to Die. There's like this slightly online or Rust.
Yeah,
Rust. It might be Rust. That forced the gender on people, and that was either male or female. And I think a lot of little boys got very upset that either way, really, that either they couldn't have this naked woman walking around with giant tits, or that they didn't have this little willy dangling around.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, they've got fucking problems. But
Yeah.
They do.
anyway,
I was just reading something like this one game that's based on like a comic book, and the protagonist is a woman.
Yeah.
And the game version of it on Steam. I was just reading the community discussions, which you should never do unless you're just looking for generally useful info. But yeah, they were like, "Oh, Californiashire player's a man in this game." It's like the comics. There's a woman protagonist in the comics. It's
oh my god!
It's
really?
a narrative adventure, and it's like
No.
so. Yeah, the dev locked that.
I want to rate Coombs as Barry Croft.
Why not? Eh?
I want to do everything as Barry Croft.
Yeah.
You just as we're saying, I think Ubisoft, I don't know, not Massive necessarily who developed the game, but Ubisoft needed some bigger balls really to use
Is it Massive?
Yeah, it's Massive, the developer. Yeah, I think there's a few other people in there as well.
Oh yeah, there's about 600 other.
Yeah, they've done lots of stuff. But I just don't think they just, by not embracing it, it has stopped a little bit of the enjoyment for me. Because again, I would have enjoyed the story, and I'm enjoying the gameplay. I'm enjoying what's going on, so I'm still playing it through. I just don't give a shit anymore, really. I know something kind of happens towards the end of the game when you hit like end game. That this it's not really a fucking spoiler for the Division 2, is it? Because there's fucking no story anyway. So the
wait, hold on. Are you going to spoil one of the few moments of story? Is that your move?
I've not got to it yet.
Okay,
so something happens, which again is a massive political statement.
They kill Trump. Just guessing.
There is
His name is Trump.
there's no Trump, there's no Donald Trump, but there is a mission we have to save the president.
Which one?
Oh, I thought he was dead.
He's
Or you mean the current president?
I don't know. He's just not a real president.
Kim Jong-un.
Fictional American president number 2.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just annoyed me that I'm enjoying this game, and it could have, it's not going to be a Game of the Year contender because it's got so many fucking issues with textures and bugs and stuff like that. It's just not polished. Like, it works. It works.
Okay.
It's brilliant that it works, but there's just a lot of
Ubisoft
little
jank.
bits. Yeah, completely just chipping away at that. But that, I mean, say it's around about I hate numbers, but it's around about an 8.5.
That's pretty good.
Something like that for me, because I'm enjoying the game, but that lack of interesting or at least compelling narrative,
Yeah.
and that's a lot to do with the messaging that before the game came out, has just dropped it down to closer to a 7, maybe even a little bit lower than that. So it's kind of
It's going to be like the Division 1. People play it and they enjoy it and they enjoy that gameplay loop and they stick with it for, potentially 6 months to the year, but it just won't be considered. Which is...
I think so, yeah.
I think it's worse than the Division 1 narrative-wise. So, I ended up playing a bunch of the Division 1 on PC by myself because I liked the world and exploring and I mentioned this briefly last time we talked about it, but like getting the cell phone, picking up the cell phones and hearing the data extracts of different moments mid riots, mid initial. Some of them were like right when the Green Death or whatever happened, and some of it was like in the martial law afterwards. And they're different people, different positions in life, different professions, all like just regular people's reactions, and some cop stuff, some government stuff. And it was a really nice way of painting out the world and what the world looked. And here, I pick up these things and I immediately tune out. And it's not just because the messaging claimed it wasn't political. It's just not gripping. Like these are just like generic audio segment number 4, and this isn't helping me understand what the world was like. I don't, and also the missions and stuff. None of that makes me want to know more about the world. Like something narratively just isn't working. Such that when I don't feel like the gameplay, I don't have anything else to do with.
I just find like audio logs are just a not great way to tell a story. Anyway, for me, I think the only game that I could probably say did it well for me was Horizon Zero Dawn, but that was probably after like 50% of the game was done. It was like, oh Christ, there's narrative things happening that's interesting. Like, I'll pay attention.
What I liked about those was they weren't telling the story of the game; they were just giving you a picture of what the world was like at different points before the game. So it really helped with world build. And same with those echo things. Sometimes they were like, here's an echo, and you like little hologram shows up from your watch, and it's like stills of like people writing or something. And now a couple echoes I've seen are just like weird conversations about shady people about the government or something. And I'm like, okay, that's not world building. That's you trying to push this weird narrative that is going nowhere. Like they sort of lost track of what those collectibles were doing, which wasn't pushing the storyline. And it also feels like because they want this to stick around for as long as possible, they're purposely not giving you any movement in story. They're making it like static so that you don't feel finished. But that's the worst way to approach these things.
It's a shame. Division seems like a comfort food. Like,
very much
dish you've ever had, but it's
I mean, for me as well, I am enjoying the gunplay. I'm enjoying the loot aspect of it, and constantly kind of upgrading gear and things like that. It gives me a few things that I don't get from like other games. If like Metro Exodus had a nice narrative that I enjoyed, not a nice narrative, but it had a narrative that I liked, that I could get into, that I was invested in. It gave you some kind of like little upgrades and things like that. It didn't delve into that too much. I think there's a very good middle ground between like the Division and Metro, which kind of gives you everything. It's probably Borderlands 2. That game was fucking fantastic, and now Borderlands 3 is coming out, so everyone's happy. Hooray.
I've never played Borderlands with someone else.
Neither have I.
Oh.
I don't want to.
I was going to say.
It just didn't grasp me, and a lot of respect for that. But, not
That's fair. I
didn't
play it. I didn't play it with people online. I played it co-op, couch co-op with someone. So that, not all of the game. I think we played a few hours, and then I played the rest of the game by myself.
I want to say I rented Borderlands 2.
Okay.
I got it with my Vita.
God damn, that's not the best way to play it.
Nope. Didn't even bother installing it, I don't think. It was like Game of the Year edition.
Good choice.
Redeem code. Oh, I guess I could have sold that online or something. Well, now I'm never installing this thing.
The problem is when I used to rent games, I used to get like this deal with Blockbuster where you could rent 2 games for like a week and just pay like £5 for it. Maybe get a bag of popcorn thrown in as well. But it was always a case where it's like I played through one game and I was like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. And then just put in the other game, was like, this is nowhere near as good. And I was just like, nah, throw it to the side. Even though it's still a decent game, like I think Deus Ex, not the mankind divide, human revolution.
Human Revolution.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, this is awful. It's not bad. I don't like first-person stealth anyway, so I was never going to like that game. It's the same with Dishonored. It's like I played it after like Batman Arkham City and stuff like that, and it's like it's never going to compare to Bioshock Infinite. Like,
Yeah.
It's not going to be as good.
That's fair. That's a fair comment. Shall we move on?
No.
Aadil, have you got anything else to say about the Division 2 whilst we're still hovering around it?
This is the last time we're ever going to speak about it.
By the time I get back, Ben's gonna be like, "Yeah, fucking stop." Like, but I'm finally level 12.
Let me play with you guys. Come on.
So one thing I haven't done that I am curious about is, have you done any dark zoning? It's sort of painted as in-game-ish, but they do have different ways of dealing with that. So you could technically hop in sooner rather than later.
Yeah, you can do. I think if I'm going to do some dark zoning, I'd rather do it with a group of people.
Yeah.
Again, with the Division, I did a lot of dark zoning, but by myself, as I experienced a lot of that game.
Yeah.
What I wanted from the Division 2 was to play with other people, to experience kind of. It is the same game as the Division, essentially.
Yeah.
It's no different, really. So I just wanted to experience it.
You can shoot deer now.
That's true, and dogs, and raccoons, and foxes.
Yeah.
Do you like
Cats,
harvest them
rats.
for like?
Nope.
No.
You just shoot them.
Yep.
It's weird.
You can just be a bad man going around shooting fucking.
It's easier to kill birds in Division 2 than Division 1. The pigeons were quite hard to kill. The crows are
they're
bigger
crafty.
and easier to kill.
Crows. Yeah, what is that? There's no pigeons in DC, just crows. What's going on?
Yeah.
Obviously, the crows have eaten all the dead pigeons.
No.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
We can move on.
It sounds political.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bird wars. The most political of everything. Let's move on. So I'm going to open another beer because I have absolutely smashed that one back. It didn't really grow on me anymore than it did from its opening sort of thing. Became a little bit easier, not a huge amount, but I've now got 2 double dry hopped IPAs to choose from. One from North Brewing Company called Los Cosmonauts, and one from Wild Card Brewery, which is just called double dry hopped India Pale Ale.
Pick the wild card.
The Wild Card is 7.5%. The North is 6%.
Which is the wild card then?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the North. The 6%.
Okay.
Stick around the same.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, that's reasonable. Boring,
Yes.
but
Yes,
reasonable.
yes, I agree. So this is Lost Cosmonauts from North Brewing Company. It's a double dry hopped IPA. Their flavour text is just about them. We are North Brewing Company, set up by the founders of the first craft beer bar in the UK, North Bar. This hazy, hoppy IPA is packed with Mosaic and Chuggernaut hops and epitomises what we love about beer. Okay, brilliant. Kind of makes sense for them to put this beer in Tesco's, I suppose.
Yeah, fingers crossed for that one, because I want to go down to Tesco and pick up some nice beers, not average or middling beers.
I have got a 4-pack of Love and Hate from Vocation in the car.
Oh, nice. I do like
because that's
Vocation's beers.
that's a great supermarket beer. So
Yeah.
you know,
Very good. Vacation, you can't go wrong.
unless it's that big can of Love and Hate, then you can go wrong. Yes, Lucy, what are you drinking?
Yeah. I mean, the podcast might have to be sanctioned after this, because we will no longer be a podcast about craft beer. Because I have another Magic Rock beer.
Oh, rolling them out tonight.
That's fired.
I actually have stakes in line, and that's why that's why I'm giving these glowing reviews. It's called Californiashire. You see, how are they saying this? Because is it Californiashire or is it Californiashire?
Californiashire. I
Because
don't know. I can't
the Yanks
speak
would say Californiashire. What would we say?
Yeah,
Californiashire.
Californiashire.
Yeah.
Californiashire.
What Ben said.
We'll go with that one because they are Brits
Yes.
Yeah.
/ Aussies. It's called West Coast Pale Ale. I'm not hating on that. I'm happy for them to drink their beers, obviously. Is this a collab?
Well, the name Californiashire, I would imagine
Well,
it is.
but it's a West Coast
Bagby.
pale ale. So
Yeah.
it could just be saying,
just
hey,
a West Coast IPA.
it's not the West Coast of Ireland.
True. Yes.
It's just got a another. Alright, I don't know because the previous one had White Labs and Brewery Keys on it, so I mean I haven't stated that it's a collab. Probably might do on the website, but it not another logo that says Bagby here.
Oh.
Who they are? Anyway,
Bagby.
Bagby, Bagby. Malts: Golden Promise, Wheat Malt, Crystal Light, Crystal T50, and Golden Naked Oats. Hops: T90 again. Cascade, Centennial, Chinook, and EKG / whole hops. Target and Cascade, so a lot of hops in that. Yeast is West Yorkshire Ale, 4.7%, and this is a 500ml can. Like they typically do nowadays.
Nice. Just for everyone's information, Bagby are a brewer, Bagby Beer Company. They are in a place called Oceanside, which is about halfway between San Diego and LA.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Oh, Oceanside. Right, yeah.
I don't know it, I've never heard of it, but yes.
Oh, there's many Oceansides. Aren't there like bars called Oceanside?
More than likely, yeah. Aadil, are you ready for another beer?
I'm not.
Okay.
I think.
I'm glad someone's being responsible.
Oh, fuck. I'm definitely not the responsible one. Come on now. Living a weird, bizarre life. I suspect I might be by the time you finish cracking your beer. Like, I have this much left, though.
Okay, cool.
Counting
So,
I just want to say that mine, just from the smell, it smells like a traditional English ale. It's just very that maltiness and
okay.
it's just very. It's nice. I don't usually smell it nowadays. It's very nice. It smells like a pub. A real
Sticky
pub.
floors. Good.
No,
And
not
wood.
Wetherspoons.
Wood everywhere.
Yeah.
Good. So you get that nose in. The Lost Cosmonauts, which is a double dry hopped IPA from North Brewing Company. I am getting a nice hit on the nose of tropical fruits. Not much more. Quite light. But it's a good nose. You know, I would have imagined maybe a bigger nose from something that's been double dry hopped, but it's there. It exists. Oh. Okay. North Brewing Company. They have. What have they done? This beer's much better.
I didn't know which way that was going.
That's it. It's fine. This beer is it's better than any of the ones I've had in Tesco, the new range so far.
Good. So pleased.
I'm getting, a little bit of grapefruit, maybe a little bit of melon in there as well. It's just a nice sort of quite light tropical fruit IPA. Very, very little bit of bitterness which kind of lingers around, just slightly, really light. It's almost not there. Maybe because I'm looking for it, I'm noticing it, but it sticks around. The flavour kind of is lasting. It's got that nice kind of like dry grapefruit note to it as well. So it's just a nice IPA. That's good. What is it? With 6%. So yeah, a good IPA. So I'm happy with that.
Yep, I think we're all relieved because now we can go to Tesco with faith.
Exactly. Well,
we're gonna get good beer.
I was going to say Northern Monk have only got New World IPA and Eternal in the supermarkets, haven't they? But yeah, I mean it's just a good IPA. Very standard. Tropical fruits there. It's not doing a huge amount. It's maybe much more what I would have expected from a brewer going into a supermarket. Here is just a good beer. When I went into Tesco, it was full of sours, and I had this really fucking soupy milkshake IPA that I just didn't like.
Right.
And lots of styles in the supermarket that I wouldn't expect to see, which is kind of good because it should, broaden people's horizons. But if you're going into the supermarket and you see two beers from like Unbarred, and one of them is, the slightly odd mixed berry gelato pale, and the other one is whatever the other beer is because they didn't stock it in the Tesco's I went into.
Yeah.
You might be maybe put off, dependent on kind of what you're looking for, perhaps. Whereas this North beer is just going to say to you, great. They do some solid IPAs as well. Obviously, there's Stone in there as well. There's several solid IPAs now that you can get in a supermarket. They don't do much more than kind of each other. They vary in kind of their build.
I think that's what you want,
flavors, right? Yeah, very much. Exactly.
A bit of consistency, yeah. Because as you say, someone could very well be like, "Oh, I've heard of an IPA. I had that one IPA from Brewdog once. It was nice." And then I have this weird old gelato IPA, and it's like, this isn't what I was expecting. Let me just go back to Carling.
Yeah.
Lager.
Exactly. But I think North have done well here to get out just a solid IPA that they're pushing with them. So cool. Lucy, how's yours?
It brings a smile to my face because, as I was saying, like the smell, it smells like a, just good old English. Like cask ale.
Nice.
Like, it even looks like one, like,
Yeah. Bit
a
of
little bit
to
head, a bit of murk. It's like orangey. Yeah, it tastes like that as well. I mean, I don't know why they're calling it like a West Coast pale ale. I mean, which West Coast? Over here or in America? Where are they on about?
The Danish West Coast.
Yes. Perth. I don't know if that's on the west coast of Australia. I don't know.
It's both is it?
But yeah, that it must be the West Yorkshire ale
Coast.
yeast. That's coming.
I mean,
through.
it is called California, whatnot, right?
Yeah, California.
So
So I think they wanted a blend of both styles.
Yeah,
Yeah,
West
Western
Coast
UK.
and like a more traditional brown ale or something.
But it just goes straight over to that English cask ale kind of thing. It's like you could. It's really good. Like if you just went to a pub up in Yorkshire that did like really good ales, and you didn't see the labels or anything like this, you just think, this. It's not got a lot of carbonation. It's quite soft and like easy drinking. It just, I don't see where the West Coast US comes into it at all. Like, it's not hoppy. It's only really got that overwhelmingly ale-ish taste to it. So there's no like fruitiness or pininess, or it's not really that bitter either.
It's just a solid...
Slightly bitter, slightly bitter. Yeah. But yeah, I'm getting like that malty, a lot of the malt. So yeah, it's just like a traditional English ale, and you never see like craft brewers doing that nowadays.
Yeah,
so
that's really
that's
actually quite heartening.
Yeah, that's why when I smelt it, I was like, "This is amazing. Wow. This is very comforting." But yeah, this is good. Like, I've been really impressed with these two Magic Rock beers so far. So
nice, good. Yeah. I know I did share an article on the Tanked Up Discord, which obviously, if you want to read, you can go to our Out of Lives Discord and find our channel and come chat to us about beers. I'll probably share it on Twitter and stuff as well, just in case you don't give a shit about Discord. But it was about changing beer trends, and it gave like a lot of statistics about kind of like what's been changing and stuff. And like more traditional ales just seem to be slowly disappearing. I remember like jumping into the article. I remember it saying that when a lot of new breweries were starting to open up, you would often find a more traditional ale on their on their list of beers that they brewed. It'd be one of the first beers that they tried, one of the first beers that they put out for people. Whereas now they're moving away from them, and not many people are doing it. And I think we've got, at least in Bristol here, people like Good Chemistry, which is still doing slightly more kind of like traditional beers. I think Dawkins as well do a
Yeah.
lot more of the sort of like traditional ales and things like that. There's a few more breweries obviously in Bristol which will do them as well.
Yeah.
It's not just kind of like the they're not just churning out IPAs or pale ales or saisons or things like that. We've got a few breweries that are still flying that flag.
Yeah, and there's always Bath.
Yeah.
Bath trails don't do anything but really.
Yes,
I think they have an
Yeah.
IPA thing. It's just not exceptional.
I learned that there was actually like a real ale like brewer like 10 minutes down the road from me called
Yeah.
Froth Blowers.
Froth
like, okay.
blowers.
That does
Yeah.
not sound like a real ale brewer.
It was actually like what, because I was like, Froth Blowers, that's weird. I think they were like some like gentlemanly like charitable club like
You sure it's not just a front?
100 years ago. You know what? Considering it's Birmingham, it probably is. Peaky Blinders is probably filmed. Yeah, I was like, where did this come from? Yeah, so never actually seen that bit. Yeah, it's a front. I apologise to the owners of Froth Blowers. Like, if it's not actually a front, I do apologise. I will try and seek out your beers.
Oh, good. Yes, we should delve into that one when we come up to see you, Lucy. Maybe we'll
yeah.
try and find it.
Well,
on a
we'll
mission.
try and find a pub that serves them. Yeah.
Yeah. Aadil, I did see you cracking a can just now.
Yeah. I've got from Nomad, the Supersonic Double IPA Rainforest Lime Edition.
Okay.
Oh, that sounds like, when video game companies are like taking the piss and they're just like, oh, this is the double extra mega triple edition. That's what that sounds like.
Right, yeah, I mean, I honestly, I like what Nomad does, but that's basically why I bought this particular beer in the bottle shop. Like, I need to know. 7.8%. Our magpie has flown north to the tropics for this tropical rainforest edition of Supersonic, where she's foraged and found the rare rainforest lime for the citrus edition. A little zestier and punchier than its finger lime counterpart, the flavors have combined beautifully with the bouquet of U.S. hops, Mosaic, and Citra to create an explosive fruit salad combination of mango, passion fruit, and citrus aromas. With a solid and slightly sweet malt backbone to support the aroma, the result is a balanced and very drinkable DIPA that makes this magpie warble with great pride and joy. So it has
something about magpies.
Yeah. It has finger limes, they say in the ingredients, although their flavor text seems to suggest they're using a different lime, given that they're saying it's punchier than its finger lime counterpart. Now I'm very confused. But yeah, so it is a double IPA with limes.
Nice. I was going to say, I thought you'd had the, on a few weeks ago, had the Supersonic finger lime one.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
This is the Rainforest Lime Edition. And it smells limey.
Well, that's a good start.
Quite a tart lime. Not like a key lime, or it's like a. So I buy the zestier, punchier lime note that they said in the flavor text. It has that.
I thought
citrus
a lime was a lime, so we're all learning. I didn't know that there was a difference between sweet cherry and sour cherry.
When Brexit happens, Lucy, there will be no limes.
Oh.
Just
So this
coconut.
is an exceptional beer.
Exceptional.
Exceptional.
Ooh.
Nice.
The malt backbone that they blabbered on about in the text is there. It initially hits you malty, then you get this rush of the Mosaic and Citra and the lime. And then those sort of start to fade away, and you're left with a little malt, and then a nice, just solid, bitter, hoppy finish. So after the finish, things start to fade, and you just have this lovely, bitter taste in your mouth. Doesn't dry you out. It lingers in an interesting way. But there's it's like a rush of fruit flavors, then there's like a malt push, then a rush of fruit flavors, and then the lime kicks in, and then the fruits start to fade. Then the limes fade, then the malt fades. Then you're left with this lovely, just crisp, bitter, lingering bitterness. It's really excellent.
Nice.
Good.
Yeah. Is it better than the key? Not the key lime one.
The finger lime.
The finger lime.
Finger
one.
lime.
Yeah, I think so. So I really like the lime. Feels like I'm gonna borrow from their flavor text. It's like a nice punch of lime.
Mm-hmm.
Like a very distinct. Hey, this is lime. Open up your eyes. This is lime. It's got. I would say
that would hurt.
Yeah, fair enough. It's got some the fruitiness. Is actually kind of like what if you sort of added a little more tropical fruits to the melony taste of the last beer I had, but magnified the strength of all those tastes by maybe 2 or 3. Like this is a burst of flavor.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good.
Mm-hmm. And you, to be honest, like I couldn't tell that it's 7.8% versus a 4.7 of the previous beer.
Okay.
But I suspect that's what's helping sort of knit things together.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I think the key to this is that malt is there.
Yeah.
Rounding
It's
things
balanced.
out.
Yeah.
Good. Ooh, some good beers then for round 2.
Yes.
So,
Lucy, I'm going to come to you next for your topic this week. What do you want to talk about?
A game.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've been playing Yoshi's Crafted World, and it's
is it?
yes, it's just very heartwarming and fun and fuzzy, and it's like the Magic Roundabout. It has like stop motion, like kind of like paper craft stuff in it. It's just really good, but that's not the game I'm talking about. I'll talk about that probably next week because I am
You blew it up.
trying to. I think I'm going to 100% it. I'm on the way to 100% in it, so that might take me a while, but I'm thoroughly enjoying that. So
you
if anyone
talk about it when you've done it.
Yeah, if anyone's on the fence,
God, if I had to only talk about games after I finish them. Well,
you just wouldn't be on it.
Same as every other week, where I don't actually talk about games.
True. But the game I want to talk about, that I played this week and came out this week is called Photographs. And it's from the developer of games such as, is it You Must Build the Boat? And... Is it 10 million? It's like one with several hundred zeros after it. I don't know if it's 10 million, 100 million, or something like that. The developer himself, Luca Redwood, was like, I can't even remember the name of my own game because it's like 7 zeros after a 1. But yeah, it's basically those two games were basically melding like match-free puzzle mechanics with like roguelike dungeon crawling and stuff like that. So his previous pedigree is pretty good.
10 million.
Is it 10 million?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's that? 7 zeros? All right.
Yeah.
Yes. Both good games are both on, I think, I'm sure Android at this point, iOS and Steam. So yeah, those are pretty good. Pick them up if you haven't. It came out ages ago, 5 years ago. Jesus.
Wow.
But Photographs took him 4 years to make. And it shows because it's a really, really good game. The short pitch of it is I think is it on Steam?
It is on Steam.
It is on Steam. Yes, it is on Steam, and it's on iOS, Android later. It's basically a narrative, separate narratives told in like little vignettes, and they mesh together with these puzzle mechanics. If you've ever played his previous game, like sort of very straightforward, something like match-free, like what you'd expect to work on like a mobile touch interface. Very simple mechanics, but what he does with these mechanics is he just meshes them so well and combines them so well. Like, story mechanics, with storytelling. Sorry, that they complement each other so well. And these little vignettes, isn't. If you're not feeling too great, probably don't play this game, because these stories are, they are pretty harrowing and pretty sorrowful, a bit macabre.
Right.
At some points. There's 5 in total. Even at the start of the game, it's like it'll probably take you about 30 minutes to play through each story. So overall, the game should probably take you no more than 3 hours, depending on how adept you are at solving the puzzles. But so it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's just a very nice, tight experience.
Nice.
Kind of hard to talk around it because I don't want to go too much into the stories, which are
right.
the main part of the game. And because the puzzles are so intrinsically, entwined with the story, with the stories, then even the mechanics are kind of hard to talk about. So it's one of those where it's like, hey, I don't want to spoil it for people because it's very low barrier of entry. It's only like
it's something like Florence, where you kind of you don't want to describe some of the mechanics. Where you're like, well, you're trying to piece bits of conversation, puzzle a conversation together. And you're like, well, obviously, then you know that they're having a conversation, and so it is very hard to kind of describe. I understand what you mean, but if Florence is kind of a for the gameplay, at least, that combination between narrative and what the puzzles are actually kind of like trying to do.
Absolutely.
Kind of like a good comparison to make, then I'm in. I mean,
I'm glad you brought it up, actually, because I didn't even think about Florence. But yeah, absolutely, it's just like
Good.
Florence.
I've been trying to find
all
it.
Heartbreak, but not anything uplifting. But
that's fine. You need that sometimes. That's okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I've been trying to find it on the Google Play Store.
Oh, it's not on. Sorry, it's not on Android yet. It's on Steam though.
It's on Steam. It's on sale.
On Steam.
It's currently on sale for 20% off on Steam.
Ooh, nice.
£7.50.
Yeah.
How much?
I know. But...
Is that Canadian dollars? What's going on? I know that mobile games are cheaper.
I actually stumbled upon
Android
this
because I think it.
I was just I stumbled upon it earlier this week. Didn't realize that was a game that you had played, and I wishlisted. It was like I almost bought it just because it was on sale. I was like, this looks really cool.
Yeah, it is, and it's got like beautiful pixel art from Octavio Navarro, who, if you haven't checked him out yet, I mean, he's done art for like Thimbleweed Park. Nice. He's got like a few free games on itch.io, which really short point adventure games, which are he's just got amazing pixel art, and just in so many, he evokes so many emotions in like the characters setting, in just such a small like space to work in, just a few pixels. Then it's pretty amazing. Ben Prunty did the music, which is really good as well. Yeah, it's just a sum of its parts. Like everything just melds together so well that just enables this kind of storytelling that you rarely see. That is just so like linked to its puzzle mechanics, and everything makes sense. Nothing is too like overbearing, except like some parts of the narrative, which are pretty horrific at times. But yeah, it's very approachable in terms of like its puzzle mechanics. As I say, like I'd have to give away so much of the story just to tell you, but maybe the opening story, because you do play them in order, is just about this old Papa gardener with his like granddaughter, presumably, and you're just like having an insight and look into the how they were living. They were living out in the country, living off the land, etc. And it's called Photographs because every time that there's a narration, basically narrating you through how his life, how his relation to his grand, and after every short snippet, you take control. You hover over the screen, and you basically have the lens of a camera, and it's the game's instructing you to find things in the environment which enhance the environmental story. like, oh, it's instructing you to find happy memory around the screen. It's like, oh, they're playing chess together and stuff like that, and then the story progresses. And in between these like narrative beats, with his narration and these, you take literal photographs. There's these puzzle mechanics, which is basically you're swiping on the screen. You have this grid, and it's basically this, interpretation of their garden. And it's like you're swiping, and one character's going one way, you have to fit them in one place, and the other character's going the other way. It doesn't sound too interesting or exciting. The way that the narrative then unfolds, and then different mechanics come into that like puzzle. I don't want to say anything, but it's like it's really well done. It doesn't sound too enrapturing when I'm explaining it, but the way Luca just keeps on digging into these stories and mechanics and just evolves on that, and it makes there's a tangible feel to like the mechanics linked to the story and vice versa, and it's really well done.
Good.
It's really interesting. You don't really, especially on my iOS, but it's really good, and I think there's 5 different stories. I think some will definitely appeal to others more so than the other people, and at the end there's a decision, and I think that's quite telling of what you gravitate towards in terms of life experiences and stuff like that. So that's really interesting. Yeah,
nice.
It's not something that will like make you tear or cry or anything like that, but it's just like, oh, hot damn, that some shit went down in some of these stories. Like, damn. Yeah, it's really good. Really recommend.
Nice.
So how much was it on iOS?
It's $2.99 on iOS.
Yeah, so that's quite a big PC tax. The 20% sale
You
being
always
$7.50.
find that.
Yeah.
I think it's just because of the market.
Oh yeah, it's because it can. Why wouldn't you charge that much if people would easily pay? As long as it's under 10 quid, people will pay that for a game.
Yeah, and iOS, like a lot of people are like, I wouldn't pay anything for a game.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why I'm really looking for Apple's subscription thing.
Yeah, they're very curated subscription services.
Yeah.
I sort of say. Yeah.
Like, hopefully those games will be available outside of the subscription service, but even so, I'm just glad that they're focusing more on curating good experience, because they tried to do that. Well, they have succeeded in doing that to a certain extent with their whole revamp of the App Store. It's like these games actually get, it's like game of the day, and let's read about this developer's story and stuff like that. And I do genuinely like, find out about really good iOS games that way. So,
right,
yeah, if they're delving even more into like curation, it's only a good. There are some really
completely. I mean, so having a look at, the Google Play Store is not good.
Correct.
Yeah. Most stores aren't.
No, you're right. I mean, looking at it, recommended for you, I have something called Sushi Bar. Don't know what that is. I've got
I think
Uno.
that's on Switch.
Uno.
Uno. Always good.
I mean, that's a solid game, although I don't think I'd like to play it not with people.
And then Dad Jokes.
I play it on,
Who knows? I don't know.
Dad
what
Jokes.
is it actually? Yeah, what is it reading from my thing? Because I've downloaded some kids, games through the app. The Dad Jokes. Rebel Inc. Oh, that is.
I've heard of that, but I don't
Mini
know what
Metro.
that is.
That's a good recommendation.
That's a
for me.
good-ass game.
I have played Mini Metro though, but then it's just full of like new and updated games: Clash of Clans, WWE Supercard, Idle Miner Tycoon, Soul Saver, Idle RPG. Just like, and then just shite.
Do you know what's really funny is I've just opened up my Play Store.
Yeah.
And the suggested apps for me are like some random fucking fantasy hero games, the South Park game, and then ordering food in the Netherlands. Basically the Dutch version of Deliveroo. I haven't lived in the Netherlands since 2012.
Maybe it knows you're going there.
and Marktplaats, which is the Craigslist in the Netherlands. Also,
Brilliant.
most of my life in the Netherlands, I had an iPhone.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
Everybody's tracking you, mate. Like, Apple sold your data to Google. Alright.
Mate, fucking everyone is tracking you. So, Kim and I got a Google Home Mini.
Why? Why would you
Because-
let it into your house?
Why? Yeah,
So, we didn't buy one.
Oh,
We've
you
been
were given?
thinking. We've been thinking of getting the like family Spotify for a little while, rather than me paying for premium separately. We can just get a
Oh,
cheaper
yeah, that's
version, so we'll get premium, which we did because they were saying, hey, you can get a free Google Home Mini if you do this, and we're like, okay, let's do that.
That's how
So-
they get you.
I was
It's
just like,
been
yep.
it's to be fair, it's been brilliant because Evelyn is in that stage where she's constantly asking questions. She's like, "How is this made? Where does this come from? What is this?" And I'm pretty okay with lots of stuff, but sometimes she asks me something that I just don't know, and I can ask Google, and it will tell me normally from Wikipedia. So it's a little bit,
This is, you're going
it's
down
a
a
little
rabbit
bit,
hole.
squishy
Bad idea.
about where it actually goes. But
It's a bad idea, Ben.
it was turned on, and we've used it for Spotify. It's great for kids' songs on Spotify. Anyway, Kim and I, last night, we were drinking, we were conversing, we were talking about loads of different things, and the conversation turned to spirituality and religion and a few other things kind of around that, and we moved into like moon landings and aliens and stuff, because she had been talking to other friends about that and wanted to kind of talk to me about it. So, anyway, in the middle of us talking about spirituality and religion, out of absolutely nowhere, the Google Mini just said, I've written it down, the Google Mini just suddenly said, panpipe music will speak directly to your soul. We were like, what?
Please buy this Ecuadorian panpipe. CD.
But I said, so I'm like, okay, what command can I say to this? And I'm like, hey Google, repeat the last thing. It's like, I currently cannot do that. Like, okay Google, why did you suggest power? It's asking. I've just said okay Google, so my phone is now charting everything I fucking read.
I can't believe you have that function on your phone. I turn that shit off immediately. I don't need to say okay Google.
I've heard.
phone.
When do I ever say that?
I've heard this
now.
before. I've heard people reporting that this and Alexa just randomly out of nowhere just suggest things, and it's like she's listening. And with asking, with Evelyn asking, like she's gonna ask what's sex, and you're gonna be like, oh, never mind about that, and Google like,
Just gonna tell us.
let me just project these images of the conversation on your bedroom wall.
Doesn't even tell us. Like a camera comes out of nowhere, just a projector appears and just puts it on the wall.
It just adds some informative videos to her YouTube playlist.
I mean,
Like
some
Peppa
things
Pig just finished, and then suddenly it's just like, boom, dum, dum, dum. Hey, how's it going?
They're better off just left alone and kids not knowing like some things,
Yeah, it definitely.
What's
definitely
the Ebola virus? Maybe we don't teach you this yet.
It definitely makes me think a little bit more about the the AI uprising and
They're gonna kill us all.
how all those little Roombas are going to
I
just
love the chuckle that's
absorb
involved
everyone's
with
feet.
you.
Well, someone's got to do it. It's either a comet or robots. Which one's funner? We can just be
Robot
like,
Comet. Robot Comet.
Robot comet.
well,
Just saying.
okay. I'd prefer robot dinosaurs, but there you go.
Yeah, at least you can fight them.
What do you think kills the robot
Yes.
dinosaurs?
It depends what fire bows, ice bows. It depends what robot dinosaur.
That's very true. Yeah, do they have big explodey things on their backs?
Oh yes,
Yes.
I love that game.
Oh,
I'm gonna
surely
miss
we should be hearing what Gorilla are doing next soon, right?
Well, if they want me to buy a PlayStation 5, just say Horizon 2 now with more dino.
Yeah, I do.
Day
I do expect. We've got all of these kind of like end of life PS4 games announced, knowing that these things are kind of coming. I would expect when the PS5 reveal event happens that you get maybe 2 or 3 new game reveals to kind of go along with it. They might not be day and date releases with the console, but at least you know that they're coming within sort of like 6 months or 12 months of when that console's going to release.
I want the PS5 to launch with The Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima, because then I will not have to play them on my loud PS4, and I'll be happy.
Yes,
I'll just buy a new console and be like, thank you.
I mean, if they do, I mean, if those 2 games were pushed to PS5, they just fucking fly out the door. People would just
absolutely.
Those 2 games
because I don't want to
sell
upgrade to a Pro,
PS5.
and I don't want to clean my PS4 because I'm lazy. I don't want to play it because it's loud.
Like I notice it so much more. Like taking all of these photos in all of these games, when I look online at so many people's, like photos of Horizon, or like, well, you've clearly got a Pro. Yeah, this looks fucking phenomenal.
I have to say a thing, which is I quickly googled Guerrilla Games and got the Wikipedia entry, and there was a section called Future, and it's literally saying it was announced that they would move to a new building on Nuvide, which a new building in early 2019, which was a 7-minute walk from where I used to live.
Oh.
So I just read the street, and I was like, wait, what?
That's cool.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I just had to.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes, they have. They've charted, I think, on their Twitter and things, the build. And when they go in at certain points to have a look at that.
That's good.
I do find it's interesting. People like Duration Brewery are also kind of undertaking their own big building project, construction project at the moment, where they're putting their brewery, on a very historic sort of site. And I've been getting very into developers and brewers and lots of different people moving into buildings and seeing their,
Why would you give a shit about buildings, Ben?
I don't care about spaces at all. No, it's good. It's brilliant. I fucking love it. I fucking love that shit.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll have to take a look at their Twitter. I don't think I follow them.
Yeah. We'll build Kojima's new building, and it'll be the most impossible, longest build ever.
I mean, the problem with that is you're gonna have, instead of having a keycard access, it's just gonna be you have to win at pachinko.
He's no longer with Konami.
He's not with Konami.
I know.
No, it's just going to be some
just walk in
weird
and
other
there'll just
thing.
be banks of pachinko machines along the walls. Just be like, we've got all of the pachinko machines, motherfuckers.
You'd wish that. It's going to be some weird arbitrary, like, oh, you have to like put your left foot behind your ear kind of weird thing, and then get your PlayStation memory card read out.
Exactly. You have to speak the codec frequency that only one person knows. That is Kojima himself. Only he may enter his small, tiny
And then you have to
building.
bring a random celebrity with you to get their eye scanned.
Scan all the celebrities. I'm going to open up another beer. I finished my Los Cosmonauts from North Brewing Company.
Sweet.
So I'm going to open up the Wild Card Brewery Double Dry Hopped IPA, a double dry hopped India Pale Ale. So it says. Naturally hazy beer. It's got water, barley, wheat, oats, hops and yeast. 7.5%. That is all we get. It's got a clock and an eye and some pencils and pens.
Oh yeah, I've seen that
quills.
I've seen that beer on my journeys.
On your journeys. So this is again. I got it from Tesco. I've seen Wild Card Brewery beer in Tesco previously. They did some bottles which I think were called King, Queen, and
Jack,
maybe.
Yeah. I've seen something to that end. Yeah.
So I think from the Tesco's range, obviously it's a double dry hopped IPA. You'd think you can't go wrong. It's one of the higher percentages that I think that was available when I went in, at least, to the Tesco's. I don't know about the entire range of new beers that are coming out. But yeah, thought I'd try this. And I've already cracked the can, and I'm getting more off just cracking the can nose-wise than I was from the north. So whilst I'm here, It does have a similar nose to the North Brewing Company. You know, a little bit of tropical fruit in there. That's about it from the nose.
Yeah.
Again, double dry hopped. I'd expect maybe something just a bit bigger.
No. Yeah.
Lucy, what are you drinking?
I've stopped being a sellout and I'm going back.
Oh, no. Yeah.
I'm representing the Bristolians, and I've got a Arbor beer,
Ooh.
Mosaic,
Hey.
gluten-free single hop pale ale. I've had this one before.
It's a girlfriend beer.
Yarr. It's 4%. Heavily hopped Mosaic pale ale with bold floral and tropical fruit flavors and aromas. That's it. It's the 1 pint can.
Yep.
Yeah, I had
Uno Pint.
Uno Pint. I had a Waikikamuko, the oval.
Such a good beer. Like that beer a lot.
Yeah, I don't know what it was because I had it in the can. It just, it was so good. It was so good. It just tasted so fresh and like proper like juicy and still like bitter and piney on the end. Just perfectly well balanced.
Nice.
So I was like, you know what, I'm going to pick up more Waikikamuko and I'm going to pick up more of the Mosaic because I've had this in the pint can before.
Yep.
I think the last time I had it, I was just like, oh, that's not Mosaic-y enough, but I'm going to give it another chance now because
That's fair enough.
yeah.
I don't think I've had Waikikamuko since they went to all cans. There's a few of them I've had, like Rocket Man and things. Rocket Man? Yeah.
Yeah.
Rocket Man.
Ooh, it smells good.
What are you confused about?
I was thinking, is it Rocket Man? I then thought of Elton John.
There's so many.
It can't be Rocket Man, but it is. I'm pretty sure it is.
There's so many names.
It is, and also because of Elton John.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly.
It's like, this is
Where's
bad
Elton
reasoning,
John
my
from?
friend.
I know.
He's from Bristol. Where's he from?
Who? Elton John?
Yeah.
No, I don't think
No,
he's Bristolian, is he?
Probably.
There's a movie coming out that a biopic on Elton.
Oh yeah, there is. Isn't
Yes,
there?
there is. Yeah. Taron Egerton.
And if you want,
Egerton?
Edge or egg?
Egerton.
Edge
one
or
of them.
egg?
Egg. Dr. Eggman.
Yeah.
I've
Dr.
lost you.
We're talking about Sonic.
Sonic.
He was raised in the Pinner area of London.
Cool.
So no, not Bristol.
Yeah, no. Yeah, Middlesex. Born
There
in
we go.
Pinner.
I was
Pinner.
born in London, but I know nothing about it.
My sisters were born
Instantly
in London,
removed.
and they don't even have British passports. or
Ah,
anything like that.
boo. Why would they want to?
I mean, it means nothing. No, it's
Yeah,
worthless.
this fucking thing used to mean something for me. Now it means nothing.
Just throw it in the bin. Sell it
because-
like sell it.
No, because otherwise I'd need a visa.
Sell it on
It's
eBay.
this thing.
You're gonna need one of that anyway. It's alright.
Soon.
We're not
Soon,
gonna be able
Adam.
to feed everyone. They're gonna get rid of it first.
I still
At
believe
least-
it. I'm going to be in Canada when April 12th rolls around. I have a suspicion this country's not going to be here for me to come back.
It'll just be like, oh,
You think,
the
I don't have
Atlantic
to
looks
play...
a bit bigger.
I don't have to play Metro Exodus anymore. I could just live it.
Yeah.
I'm really going to miss my cat, but
He'll be the one we save. He'll be the
Exactly.
only one on the dinghy. You know, like
the
Titanic.
cats-
He'll be the one
all
on
of
that.
the cats
Yeah.
will be fine.
Yeah.
I wouldn't worry about the cats.
They'll be the
okay.
first to leave. They'll be like, screw
On their
this.
dinghies.
no,
The
but
little rats.
Dorian's an idiot, so he would stay.
Nah,
Because
because you know, like when there's like a tornado or hurricane, like all dogs start squealing, and the cats and they start because they can sense it. That'll happen like
Yeah, pressure
April
change and
11th,
stuff,
and then they'll be out craftier than you think.
Oh, but I also know my cat. My cat literally got to the shelter because he was on a farm and he was sleeping in the hay bales, and the hay bales were picked up, put on a truck, and then taken an hour and a half on the highway to a horse racing track. And Dorian was like, I should stay here the entire time. So no, I don't think when the hurricane comes, metaphorically or literally, would he know what to do?
It just gets it absorbed. It's just like makes his little fucking noise. For those who don't know, Adam's cat doesn't meow. He just makes a noise.
Yeah, he's got some damage to his vocal cords, so the only noise he can make sounds like he's been smoking a pack a day.
Oh, the beers that we have opened. I got a revelation. The Wild Card. I'm calling it now. This is the best beer.
Hey.
Ever?
That's good. That's it. Not ever. This is a good beer. The nose was nice. I'm getting a little bit more, sticking my nose in. It was those tropical notes, but there was just something else kind of backing up. And when you drink it, those tropical notes are there, but you're almost getting. It's super delicate in its flavour, and the fruit is there, but there's almost this like tea element to it. I can't quite put my finger on exactly what that is. It's going down super quickly, and 7.4%, obviously.
Like tea leaves, kind of tea. It's not like an Earl Grey IPA. Or...
No, and I don't know whether it's just maybe the malts, whatever the malts are doing, are kicking through to give it just this
like kind of leafy, like
almost just like a little bit
herby,
of floral, like a little bit of herby. Yeah, something around there, which is just pulling back those tropical fruits in the flavour to just create something that kind of, moves up and down and kind of is a little bit elusive in exactly kind of what you're getting from it. But it's very nice. It's very easy to drink. And it just invites you to have some more. I seem to remember from the previous Wildcard beers from Tesco that they were... I don't think I've had any of them on a podcast episode. I think I've just drank them at home. And I think all of them were kind of like, yeah, this is nice, but it's, it's sort of just not nondescript, but it just kind of doesn't really warrant any kind of big motion about what it is, essentially. But this just, I don't know, I'll probably find that I'll go and get a beer from like Verdant down at the bottle shop next week, and it'll just blow my fucking mind after all the beers I've had like all week. I hope not for the Wild Card Brewery sort of beer, but it's just doing something more. Yeah. I'll have to see kind of maybe in like 10 minutes time whether I'm still getting that, whether whatever it is that it's doing sticks around, whether it's not an influence from the previous beer kind of merging with this one a little bit, perhaps kind of on my palate, with that still lurking around. So we'll see. Yeah. But
first impressions, I mean, that's good. Like, because you were very hot on the last one. You're saying that was the best beer that you've had from, well, at least Tesco, a new range. So, yeah, that's good.
Completely. When I step into Tesco next time, even if I don't need to buy beer, I'll get one of these. Yeah. Yeah,
because why not? I mean, they're cheaper, they're available. Like, I mean, guaranteed it wouldn't have hit my like local Tesco at the moment. But, I mean, even just for the crack of it, I might just pick them all up. But definitely make sure I pick up the North and the Wild Card. Because, I've seen a lot of Wild Card in, like, my beer shop. I don't know if I've actually ever picked them up. Might have.
I've never seen Wild Card in a bottle shop.
I see. Where are they from again?
They're London, aren't they?
London. Okay. Yeah, because I've seen, like,
London. It just says Lockwood Way, London. Doesn't give you any more than that, so I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen a few of them. Because I'm sure they used to have, like, branding, if I'm not mistaken. I was like, oh, it's wild. Or maybe I'm... There's so many wilds, maybe I'm completely
I was going to say.
else, so... But I'll definitely pick that up. I might pick some up from, like, bottle shop, see what they're like.
Yeah, completely, yeah. Definitely do. Like you say, I don't know whether you have, Aadil, over here in Bristol seen any Wild Card beers, but I just
think
said
so.
I'd not seen them.
Yeah.
It's only Tesco that I can get them from.
Oh, interesting. I wonder how they found their way up in... Well, to be fair, the bottle shop that I go to is quite substantial, so that's probably...
Yes. Bigger than any bottle shop I've ever seen in terms of their range of beers.
I was about to say, oh yes, yeah, you stepped into there before taproom.
Yes, exactly, yeah. Looked in and went, oh,
Yeah.
and then went through to the tap room.
Yeah, voted the best in the UK several years in a row. That's Cottridge Wines, for anyone who's wondering. Wants to take a trip up to the Midlands. Outside of the Midlands, there's Arbor, Bristol.
Ooh.
And they have made a decent beer. Mosaic. I'm definitely getting the Mosaic on. I don't know, is it me, or is like not many beers nowadays just like single hop and it's Mosaic nowadays? I rarely see Mosaic in like, even when it's several hops.
Yeah,
it's just not as common as I used to. Yeah.
No. I don't know whether that's like a
Price,
duty issue,
availability.
export issue.
Yeah.
I think it's just one of those trend things, because
Possibly.
last year, like the pre-Juice Bomb season, I seem to recall quite a few Mosaic. Like there was a bit of a mini one of those. I think people are just sussing something else. Having said that, that's one of the reasons why I really like this Nomad, because it's got Mosaic in it, and like you said, Lucy, I haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah, it's like my favourite hop. And maybe it's because...
For good reason.
Yeah, maybe it's because I'm not accustomed to having it as much nowadays, but yeah, the smell just brought me back. It's got that kind of lemony, lavender kind of smell to it. Taste-wise, it's got a lot of fruit. It's like a bit of like pineapple, slightly bit of lemon in it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. It's quite light. I mean, it's just 4%.
Yeah.
Sorry, and so it's really light. So maybe if it was like 6, 7, I'd probably like this even more, because it's
get a bigger
it's
hit.
quite a bigger hit, and I wouldn't call it thin. I wouldn't even call it medium bodied either. It's between like light bodied. So
yeah.
It's not got a lot of like viscosity to it. It's kind of hazy, but it's not got like that juiciness to it, which is always nice in like, especially in like a Mosaic single hop beer. But yeah, it's light. It's still got a lot of fruit in it though, which from 4% beer is still pretty impressive. It got a bit of pininess, a bit of bitterness on the end. So yeah, it's a really well balanced beer. I think I was more impressed with Waikika at this point, but yeah, I'm glad I gave it another try. It's still a cracking beer, like especially for the price and the amount that you get in. So it's very good.
Nice, good.
Arbor are doing good stuff, and they have.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, you reminded me that we've said a handful of times, Ben and I, that we should try and engage with them. But they're one of the few breweries here in Bristol who don't have a tap, and I think that's always been an astounding thing. Perhaps in May, when I'm back and I will have 1 week of teaching and some marking, and that's it. I'll just start blitzing.
In summertime.
We have plans. We've discussed plans, haven't we? We've discussed plans.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
that's the start.
I'm saying this could be part of plans.
Yes.
Oh, it's gluten free.
Back to the plans.
Okay, just for people who don't understand my earlier reference when I said beer, it was awkward timing because then it was right around when Lucy was sent, and I definitely wasn't trying to make that map. I have a running joke where when you look at menus, so first of all, usually GF and BF are standard acronyms for girlfriend.
Yeah.
And I always, when I look at a menu and see the gluten-free, my brain's like, girlfriend. And it's like, this is dumb. So now every time I hear gluten-free, I think girlfriend, and this is the connection I make. I recognize that
'Cause-
I am explaining this because obviously no one else is doing these particular leaps of logic.
No, I definitely didn't. So I was just
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was
But now, I mean, now that the
tick.
connection's made, I
Just an involuntary
challenge
tick.
you not to, when you see GF on a menu, be like, nope, not girlfriend.
I don't know.
Well, you
do I-
can't have it. It's for your girlfriend.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
think any of the
what's weird
beers
is
I
I don't-
have.
I don't really see GF on. I see V. I'm just like,
Yeah,
well,
badge.
stay away from that. What's vegan? Oh,
So
yeah.
the double dry hops IPA from North is vegan.
No, I mean like I'm like,
Oh.
is that like
usually-
VG or I don't know.
It's a V,
They'll
but
say-
one of the arms is a leaf.
I mean, yeah.
That's true. That's not a joke.
Really?
That is the symbol, yeah.
On products, yes, but in menus, they usually have a key that's, and usually stores will just do like V for vegan, and
Yeah.
rarely do you have something that says it's veggie. They rarely do they just make vegan things or they make veggie things. Rarely do they like bother making veggie and vegan things. The key that says GF, it means gluten free, will say V means vegan or V means G.
I had a good vegan wrap today.
I just want ATT.
Oh yeah,
all the things.
What like was it old school or was it like new school? Like what was the base beat?
So it was full of salad, full of hummus, cabbage.
Bit of bacon.
Good.
Yeah.
Just sticking out the top, ready for you to just take out instantly. Like.
Yeah.
So, Aadil, you disappeared for a moment. Have you gone to retrieve another beer? Is that what you went
I
to do?
did, yeah. I
Good.
didn't know whether I missed the time.
No.
No.
You're gonna start
Perfect.
drinking it, and then we're gonna talk about our
GF?
favourite beers.
Okay, that's what I thought. Like I thought we might be wrapping up. I thought I may have. I'm having something that will sound familiar to, well, similar to Ben's initial thing, or rather our mocking of it, which is the Tiny Rebel.
Yeah, I thought it
and
was Tiny Rebel.
Brasserie de Mont Saleve Mango Milkshake IPA, 4.2%. Oh, good.
Oh, was this the
There
one you
isn't
said that wasn't
flavor
very good?
Sorry?
Was this the one that you said that wasn't very good?
I mean, I haven't had it yet.
I mean, yeah, we all have different, palates.
Yeah. That's what I grabbed when I went to the fridge because I didn't think we were having 3 beer.
That's fair. That's fair. So, for anyone kind of not quite in the know, the milkshake IPA that I was talking about was, a collaboration that Tiny Rebel were part of.
Yeah.
Not necessarily this beer, but,
Not this beer. No, definitely. I haven't had this
No.
beer.
Oh,
Just another beer.
I was just thinking of that gif when Kermit sips his tea.
Not that one.
Oh, that's pretty great. Okay. So this is pure mango on the nose, hey?
Yeah.
So Canadian.
Is it? Is there a list of ingredients? Because the last beer, I'm like, wow, that's really mango. It's just pure puree.
This says ingredients: water, malted barley, malt, wheat, oats, lactose, mango concentrate, hops.
Concentrate.
They're not even puree. Not even puree.
Mm.
That's disappointing.
What
Put
can you
some
do?
concentrated mango juice.
Fuck off. That
In
is
the
a
ton.
mango punch in the face.
Yeah?
That's not true. It's very mango-y.
In like a fruit salad way.
Kind of. It almost tastes. So there's like the hops are giving a sort of like an aspartame type bitterness, which makes the
okay.
fruitiness taste fake.
Mm.
So like the bitterness is really fighting against or maybe it's just that from concentrate, not puree or like fresh mangoes, but like this tastes very generic mango rather than fruit mango.
Mm.
It looks like a mango.
Yeah.
Bit orange.
It's quite. I don't know if you can tell. It's quite see through.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hazy, but it's see
Yeah,
through.
it's all like mine, yeah. slightly.
It's I'm not really detecting a lot of the milkshake part. So normally when you add the lactose, you get that sweetness and you get a bit more of a velvety texture, and it's quite watery, to be honest.
That's a shame.
Yeah, this is actually. Yeah, it's the thinness that's getting to me. So there's like the two prongs which are disappointing are the thinness of the sort of texture and the really like genericness of it.
Yeah.
And I think the genericness is actually, like I said, that notion of the hops, the bittering parts of the beer are actually making it seem like it's a more bland / fake flavor, just because the nature of fake mango does have the aspartame notion. And the hops or the bittering parts of the beer are just kind of playing for
that. So what? I missed. What percentage was it?
4.2.
Okay, so very light.
Yeah.
Which is funny. So they say it's a mango milkshake and a bucket load of hops, but honestly, I'm not getting this like we just shoved hops in this. I'm getting like it's bitter because there are hops.
Yeah, you'd kind of think maybe like if they'd have suggested a bucket load of hops, you'd maybe have that like that mango flavour with maybe a little bit of dankness accompanying it, or a bitterness that kind of accompanied it as well, a big bitterness that accompanied it. Just something more than you're getting, perhaps.
Yeah, it's yeah. I think I've said this. It's disappointing on very much on those two factors, and the other factors are doing a decent job, but those two factors are really pulling away.
Yeah, I always find like stuff like mango and pineapple, they're just quite hard to get through. Like, if you're naming a beer like a mango or pineapple beer, I just find it's quite hard for those flavors to stand out necessarily. Yeah. It's almost like if they just happen upon those flavors just like organically, they're just like, yeah, this is just the IPA. It's like, oh, I sensed some mango or some pineapple in there. I always find that works better than just saying, yes, this is a pineapple IPA or mango.
Yeah, mango especially is kind of like a, it's like a, clearly, like, you could describe a lot of tropical fruit flavors as mango-ish, but not quite.
Yeah.
And even if mango is literally what we shoved in it, you end up getting this generic notion of tropical fruit.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so, yeah, sort of saying, this is the taste, it's mango, kind of ends up making you fence yourself in a way that you don't have to.
It's quite an elusive like flavour, seemingly, in beer. But
and elusive. I'm saying it's an illusory mango.
It is.
Illusory mango?
Yeah.
Given the disappointing milkshake and gelato IPAs and pale ales we've had today, the Garden Brewery do a really cracking milkshake IPA.
Oh, yeah.
It was in a Beer 52 box. I had it in can. Don't know if you lot had that box as well, but I was like, oh, this is okay. But when I had it on draft, it was phenomenal. So
nice. Okay.
Garden Brewery. I think it's bad with. No, it's not. I think it's just the Garden Brewery from Croatia. Very good. On draft, at least.
Ooh, good. Where did you have it on draft?
Went to a beer festival, Taps Beer Festival.
Oh yeah,
what, Lucy?
This year, the one last weekend.
Yeah, last weekend. Yeah.
Lucy, talk about Taps Beer Festival for last weekend.
Yeah, it was really good. It was
That's my topic, by the way. It's Lucy talking about.
Aadil, talk about Lucy being at Taps Beer Festival last weekend.
It was good.
I remember that all those beers Lucy told me about, but instead of me remembering, it's better if Lucy remembers.
It lasted. I think the first one was last September. I think that was the first one I ever did, and then it moves up to March, which was a nice surprise because it's like, over winter everyone hibernates, so having a festival so early in the year, it was nice, and the weather was actually good because the weather's been kind to us. Well, it was at least over the weekend, so that was good. But there was less young people because last year the average age was probably like 22, and I was like, well, I'm a granny here. But yeah, the average age bumped up, which was nice. Yeah, great food, like, you know, great people, great beers. A lot of the same like breweries there.
Okay.
With a few like scattered in between, like the Garden Brewery and Croatia and Brew York were there this time.
Nice.
Don't think we were there, but yeah, standouts were like Brew York. I think had because all their stouts are really good, like the Tom Coco, the Milk Stout,
is Kodica?
So it's probably something like that. Kojak Bear, I don't know. But yeah, they do really great stouts, and I had like a barrel aged like imperial stout, because they had like, I think it's called Empress Tom Coco, because they have this Tom Coco range. They have like milk, like normal stout, and then all the way up to imperial. But this Empress Tom Coco was barrel aged as well, and it was like, best beer there. But
nice.
Yeah, it was really good. Like, I'll go again next year. Nice little venue in the Custard Factory in Birmingham. So
it's interesting because obviously Bristol Craft Beer Festival has moved as well from the end of summer to, what is it, June? June
Sometime 8th.
June. Yeah, second weekend in June, I think. Interesting that people are disappearing out of that end of summer kind of space to jump ahead of maybe everybody else and be first for sort of people. You know, trying to organise a festival in a year is probably difficult enough, but trying to organise something 6 months, 9 months later is insane. It's absurd, but obviously doable because these people have been able to pull these things off. So interesting to see that we're getting beer festivals a lot earlier than we kind of expect them, or maybe not just expect them, that they have historically kind of been towards. So
yeah, it's making me concerned about what I'm going to do from like August through till like the next year.
Just cry, weep for beer festivals.
What am I going to do?
Oh no! I mean, what we're gonna do? I'm gonna have no time on my hands and no job to have the first annual Tanked Up Beer Festival.
Yay! We'll get it together in 6 months, right?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
It might all just be random bottles and random cans bought from the bottle shop.
I was just I mean, basically, we pick one of our two cities, and then we get like an Airbnb or something, and whoever's driving brings a trunk load of.
I'm happy to do
beers,
that.
And then
there's usually a trunk load of,
and we just have a bender, and we invite people who are vaguely beer and or video game related to like join in on that.
Vaguely.
Well, we'll record you for like an hour. Don't worry. I know it's 24 hours into the 72-hour drink-a-thon, and so odds are we're not really gonna really talk to you in a coherent way. So come by, have a beer, it'll be good.
But I've just set up a live stream, just some cameras dotted around, just live stream the room.
Yeah, I mean, most of it will be us sleep. That's fine.
Just Lucy just walking and going, nope, I'm walking out again.
But also couch co-op.
Good, yes.
Duck game. Some Towerfall.
Oh, yeah, I do like the duck game. I think the
duck game is great, but it's so much better with more than 2 people.
Yeah.
And I've only ever been able to play it once with 4 people, and it was
same as like Towerfall Ascension, isn't it?
Yeah, all those games.
Yeah, completely. So, let's talk about the beers that we have drunk this week. I'm almost finished with this fucking Wild Card.
Did Dale not have a topic, or was this topic my topic?
It was everyone's topic.
Oh, that's fine.
So my topic every week is making sure that we've done 3 things. So, and so if we haven't, then I need to come up with a thing. But it turns out that Ben and I co-topicked to Division.
Yeah.
And then you talked about games that you were playing, and then you had another thing, so it's fine. But that's why my topic was what Lucy did at the beer. Cool.
Right.
What
One
I'm
day I
saying
will
is,
works
cover
out.
the
It all
topic.
works
I
out.
don't even
Yeah.
have the excuse of the dissertation and PhD guilt for not playing games, and yet I'm still not good at playing games when all I have is free time.
Yeah, I thought your topic would be like, I don't know, difficulty in games. That's been
Hey, I mean,
sweeping the internet.
Adil, save it. That would be a really good topic next week. When you're
When this
not
blows
here.
over.
I was gonna say,
Oh
yeah.
no, yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
So for the next few weeks, Adil is not joining us. We are having
Unless it's like 1 p.m. and you're recording, and I'm like, well, I'm at home.
I'll do that. I'm a
Yeah.
bum, mate. Like,
mate, it won't be 1 p.m. for us. It'd be like fucking
No, my
3 in the
1
morning.
p.m. is when you record, when I'm there.
you mean you can't wake up earlier?
I'm
than-
at -7, and you're at
You're at
0.
-7.
So
So
the
I'm
Adil's
saying-
be lunchtime beers for Adil.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'm just saying like that is
I'll,
That
we'll
is quite
record at
possible.
midnight. You get up at 7 a.m.
fuck off.
So whilst Adil is away, we have organised a few guests
Also,
to come
Lucy,
on the
that's not how
podcast and
time
join
zones
us.
No,
work.
no.
You just hit +7, not -7. What is wrong with you?
Okay, you record at midnight, and I'll start drinking at 7 a.m.
Ah, there we go.
Nice,
Weatherspoons
that's good.
is open.
If you want to
A live
see...
feed from Weatherspoons.
Oh god, other spoons. So how do they get a hold of us again?
No, we got to talk about beers. My favourite
got
beer this
free.
week was the Wild Card Brewery Double Dry Hopped IPA. The North Brewing Company's Double Dry Hopped IPA was good. It's a good beer, 6%. The Wild Card just at 7.5%. Did not get the alcohol at all. It's a slightly better flavour. I'm getting a little bit more bitterness from it than I was from the North. There's a little bit more going on in that beer than there is in the North. I mean, I would pick the North up again tomorrow. It's a nice IPA, very easy to drink. And if I'm going to the supermarket, I know that I have got like Life and Death by Vocation. I got Jaipur from Thornbridge. I've got fucking Stone IPA that I can pick up.
Some
And
of
North
Full
kind of then
Pure.
like sits alongside those. It's just a very easy bit.
Innocent gun.
I think I'd pick the Wild Card above all of them, to be fair. It's just doing a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it kind of just stands out a little bit from everything else I've had, not just tonight, but this week, from all of the beers that I've kind of had this week, which have all been Tesco related. Tesco available beers related.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. Tesco available beers. Lucy, I'm going to come to you next. What did you prefer this week?
Yeah, I was going to cheat.
Is it
today,
Australian?
Wait,
Or is it not?
I was gonna say, really, Lucy cheating on
but- Yeah,
this
it, don't,
particular
it
decision?
never happens, does it? No. But
No, never.
I was
It's,
like,
it's
oh.
as rare as Aadil not having a plethora of games.
yeah, I was going to cheat. And then I was like, nah, you know what? Mosaic is from Arbor. It's, it's really nice.
Oh,
I think it's because it's 4%. It's quite light. Aadil, you going to say something? Owen?
finish this. I have a thing to say to you about Arbor.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's because it's 4% and it's quite light. I'm not getting as much of that mosaic, as much as juice, as much as that fruitiness and hoppiness that I'd like. I mean, it's very well balanced and well made beer. Nevertheless, I just wish they just cranked it up a notch and made it maybe a few percent higher. But the Rode Goos, it wasn't quite the sour that I was expecting. I was expecting a bit tart. It was quite sweet and it's quite juicy in that respect. But it was still very nice. It was really like getting a lot of that cherry and that fruit. It was quite nice, even though it wasn't quite what I expected.
Okay.
And just on that basis, I'm probably going to go for the Californiashire.
Yeah.
Or Californiashire, wherever you're from, which it's absolutely not what it advertises on the tin, but that's not to its detriment to its benefit, because it honestly just tastes like an old English ale. It's very malty, like massive malt backbone, not you're not really getting any fruitiness, pininess that you'd expect from West Coast Pale Ale. Bit of bitterness is on the end, but yeah, it's just like a cask ale. And I think if they had advertised that, it's like maybe some people were like, no. People like me who you rarely see like that kind of style. It's a breath of fresh air, and yeah, that's my favourite today. The
Nice.
Californiashire.
Nice.
Okay. Good.
Before I go into my thing, and by that I mean the beer I like the most, which everyone probably already figured out. I said out, good lord.
And you said A earlier.
You're getting ready to go back, aren't you? Like,
Oh fuck.
We're not going to let you back on.
I
April
believe.
12th.
I think when I had this beer, you weren't on the episode, but the Arbor, all the Mo's. You need to track that one down, Lucy. It's all the Mo's. It is. Arbor had made a beer that was Motueka, and Mosaic.
Oh.
And it's called All the Mo's. And
how do you spell Mo's?
MO''S.
Okay.
Have I had? It was my beer of that week, and it was excellent, and I was very effusive about it. You just reminded me when you were like, Mosaic's actually kind of harder to track down. It's like, well, you know what's even harder to track down? The other ones, also them together. And it was a really great beer, and so you seem to be on an Arbor kick. I think find that one; it's really good.
Okay, I'm gonna look out for that.
Yeah. For me, no alarms and no surprises. It's the Nomad Supersonic DIPA Rainforest Lime Edition. I think I may have picked the non-Rainforest Lime Edition the week I had the other Nomad, but I can't remember.
Yeah, the finger lime.
Yeah, but this was just an excellent beer, and like the way the hops and the fruitiness interacted made it. To be honest, I think I might have liked the Tiny Rebel Mango if I hadn't just had such a superior blend of fruit and hops.
Yeah,
with a malt backbone. Like it was just outclassed. So it's like
sure.
The milkshakes. My complaint on the Tiny Rebel collab was the milkshake didn't really come through because it just didn't have the right texture for that type of thing.
It didn't bring the boys to the yards, did it?
Exactly. And then it didn't blend nearly as well as this other thing. And so yeah, it's clearly the Nomad Supersonic DIPA. If you can track down the Rainforest Lime Edition, I suspect I like it more than the other one. But again, it's been weeks since I've had the other one. But this is a really special beer. I liked it a lot.
Nice.
Good. Good beers.
Good beers indeed. That's all of our beers this week. If you'd like to get hold of us and talk to us about things, you can do so in lots of different ways. At TankTupCast @TankTup_cast on Twitter. At TankTupCast.
I was going to change that.
Oh, okay.
No, it's fine. Just say the thing.
At TankTup_cast on Twitter. TankTupCast@gmail.com if you want to email us. I'm at Laver_47 almost everywhere. Aadil is at the Omniarch almost everywhere that matters. Lucy is now Juicy Loose 9 almost everywhere. The number not
including
everywhere.
Instagram.
Including Instagram, where we are also TankTupCast.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes.
And Ben, to your credit, given that I was like, we should probably go on Insta, and then I'm the worst. I'm the worst of the three of us. I was like, we'll definitely do this. And then Ben's like, okay, fine, I'll do this the right way. And Lucy's like, I'll do this occasionally. And Adil's like, why don't I forget to do this every week?
Yeah, it's a little bit though. I'm feeling my age though. Like it's definitely to the detriment of Twitter and Untapped. I'm not quite as active. You know, I've only got so much fucking time.
No,
Why have
that's
I got
fine.
all of these social media?
You
just
definitely
fucking want, right?
I'm saying you're doing a much better job than I am, and I'm the one who's like, maybe we should do it.
Yeah, but you know, I just realised like, tagging people is different to hashtagging, and it's like Lucy, you know this from every other social media platform. Why are you so old? What do you know? I was like, why is this person not coming up when I hashtag it? It's like, oh, I have to do the at symbol.
Does make a difference.
Like
the bad beers that I had from Tesco's, I didn't at people. I hashtagged them. The good beers I will at them.
Okay,
to tell them that they're good beers. Because
I just used to hashtag craft beer, everything, and that was a catch-all.
Yep. It is a catch-all. It definitely is a catch-all. Yes,
I've never hashtagged on Twitter, I don't think.
What?
Oh, really?
You mean the originator of hashtagging?
Yeah, I've never done it on Twitter. I'm not sure how.
Hashtag fuck Twitter.
Fuck off. No.
I don't know what it exactly... No, I really should.
Just stop, yeah.
Yeah. Like...
So, if you'd like to talk to us all and go to our website, we are outoFlives.net.
Go so corny.
Oh, man. Okay. I just have to take a pause and say, if you to us...
It's corny.
The past 45 seconds are why you might want to tune into the YouTube to see all of the facial expressions the three of us had on that revelation of Lucy's. Because it was choice. And it's available. You could see it if you came to our YouTube.
Don't even watch anything else. Just scrub to the last fucking 2 minutes of this video.
I'm not one to force people to think that coming to the YouTube instead of just listening to the audio matters. But this is one of those moments where it gives information that you don't have otherwise.
And now Tanked Up After Hours is going to be me like thinking why I don't hashtag on Twitter. Is it existential crisis? Is it because I think it's corny? Is it impersonal? I don't know.
I can tell you why up until now is because you clearly didn't understand what it was.
It's like I was like, how do I tweet this video? Can I tweet this video? Is this video YouTube or is it just embedded in Twitter from some other place? It's like it's a whole thing. It's like I didn't know how to I don't know what a quote tweet is.
Okay. Yes.
Anyway, so we will take our Twitter lessons offline.
Yes, listener, we're going, listener and viewer.
But also, Ben also has written a review on a game that might be useful to read.
Yes. So I didn't want to talk about it this week. I may talk about it next week. But I've been playing Islanders, which is a very chilled, meditative settlement builder.
It's Brexit.
What happens when people leave?
It's no deal Brexit.
Go to very small islands with no technology. Yes.
Now I want to contact the developers and say, can you just rescale this and call this no deal Brexit and have us starting from nothing? That's all that jokes need.
There are vestiges of previous civilizations, previous structures and things. No Big Bens or anything quite like that, but
we already have our Big Ben.
Hey, so Big Ben's fucking review is up on outoFlives.net. Go there, go to outoFlives.net to look at all that fucking shit.
We're losing steam because Epic has got better market share.
Lime juice in your eye.
Fair enough. I mean, I was gonna talk about the Epic co-ops, but we basically say that every week anyway. So that was I'm glad Lucy had a secondary topic that I could
dump truck of money on their doorstep.
That's it. I mean, I blame everything on fucking Margaret Thatcher, so we'll end with that.
Yeah. Cool. Yep. For another week, we've been
dead.
Tanked out. Bye.
No deal Brexited. Bye.
Oh no. Bye.
Okay, you both froze there. I have no idea just what.
I just said, oh no.
It's just for I couldn't tell if I missed a step between. But no, apparently not.
You're fine.
You missed the existential dread on it, which is probably a good thing.
Hey, at